what was your favorite competitive game to watch? And also, what was your favorite format of the league since you started watching? So, both two questions.
Okay. Austin, do you want to go first or should I go?
You can go.
Okay. Favorite game and favorite form of the league, right?
Yeah, it's not game to play, it's game to watch
Game
competitive.
to watch. Oh, I see. Okay. I think it has to be Black Ops 3 still. I don't think, especially since I started watching, I think it's tough to beat that. To watch competitively, yeah, I would watch Black Ops 3 is just a no-brainer because I could watch anything on that game. Like the maps are so good. I'd watch Nick Merckx play S&D scrims or like S&D tourneys. I'd watch all the teams play scrims if they're streaming them. I'd watch the eights after they finished. That game was just so much fun on all fronts. I think that slightly underrated actually is Infinite Warfare. I know it came just after that, but I think that that game to watch was actually, especially Hardpoint towards the end, was actually really entertaining. I think that Infinite Warfare gets less credit than it deserves. Search and Destroy was chaos and didn't play very well, obviously, just four hit a bomb site, but like to watch it was actually really interesting. Like you could see the minimap, one team, all all eight players are converging on a site. It's kind of funny. Okay, favorite format of the league. I think probably the World War II season, at least since I started watching, was very good because I know that Infinite Warfare had kind of like I think they had like a land league thing that was happening. I forget exactly what they did that year. Say again, line.
Global Pro League, it was, what was it, two groups of six, and then they would play each other, and then they would go for the LAN league or the LAN event. It was weird.
Yeah, so that wasn't bad. I mean, Black Ops 3 would have been great with more lands. I just missed it was just too few lands, and I kind of like the online stuff. It actually what really got me into it was watching the online league matches that were just streamed like all the time. I think they got a lot of people into it because they were just live on YouTube all the time that I'd watch. And so there was that. I mean, yeah, I think that season would have been a load of bear with a load of different lands. I think that since I've started watching, to be fair, Black Ops 4 was pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I might be tempted to say World War Two actually, because there was a load of events. There was two events right at the start of the season. There was NOLA and there was Dallas. It was Dallas and then it was NOLA. Then it was Birmingham. Shout out that one. That was the first COD event I went to, first LAN event actually, like of anything. The LAN League was good. I think if that game had been more interesting, that year would have been received a lot better because the actual way the league was structured, stage two, stage one, stage two, there was Seattle, Anaheim, like LAN Pro League mixed in with actually a lot of major LAN events, plus like a really interesting World Championship. I thought it was done really well that year, to be honest. So, favorite to watch Black Ops 3, best year of format World War Two.
Yeah, so mine go back a little farther. I think my favorite year to watch was probably Black Ops 2, and there's like a three-way tie because I actually really liked Ghosts, which sounds weird because they had Blitz and they had Dom, but like the S&D in that game was actually really amazing, even though they had a glitch
Incredible.
where you couldn't plant the bomb for a while. But Black Ops 2 and Black Ops, I watched a lot of Black Ops with like Quantic Leverage and the
We
Team
love Black Ops,
Fear.
man.
Mate,
Yeah, I
how
like that one a
old are you?
lot. I'm
Like
26.
11 years ago.
Yeah.
Far
So
out.
I still remember like that was when Teep and Aches were like cream of the crop, and I really liked watching them. Um, that was probably the game I played the most. I had a lot of time on that one. So my favorite season. Um, so I really like Black Ops 4. I think it was super underrated for like how they split that up. Uh, I do like World War II's was good. Um, you know, and then like I feel like the jetpacks never had like the perfect one. I feel like IW was okay. I feel like what was it? Black Ops 3 needed more lands. I feel like AW was a little bit too clustered, but I
Yeah.
did like how AW had a lot of different tournaments and structure. That's one thing I do miss in COD is like why does every tournament have to be the same? Like, I get it from like the basic viewers, but sometimes I wish we could have different ones be a little bit more creative with structure, like whether it's GSL,
There's
uh,
competition between the organizers as well to like one up each
yeah,
other, right?
and that I do miss that. I miss that a lot. So I think I would have to go like AW was my favorite because there was just always big tournaments, but you burnt out a lot. And then like Black Ops 4, like I really liked that, but it was only 16, whereas like if like four amateur teams, if it was like because they did the 4 groups of 4, if an amateur team could slide in and be the 5th for each one for each group, that would have been cool. But like I understand why they didn't. And then I probably World War II is my third. I'll do those 3.
So
What do you
those were
think,
your
Lion?
favorite formats. So what was your favorite game? Was it Black Ops 2?
Like I would do like Black Ops 2, and then like Ghost for S&D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll answer as well. My favorite, like, to watch as the game was probably Black Ops 3 because it's just for me that's my favorite COD, just is. And then my favorite format, you mentioned it before, it's AW, just because that was the first year I was like truly obsessed with COD, like obsessed. And I would watch all the Optic guys on 4 different streams, and they would play what, like 8 league matches a week, something ridiculous during the
Yeah.
week. And on the weekends, they would have like the 10-hour tournaments on Saturday and Sunday, 2 different ones. And so there was just so much COD. It was almost overexposure of the scene. But for me, I loved that so much because there was always something to watch if I was doing something, like doing nothing. And then the events that year, like, so there was the MLG ones, there was the UMG ones, there was the Gfinity ones, there was, what was that? Oh,
What was the
ESWC,
one in Paris?
ESWC.
ESW.
And then there was
They had
Champs
one
as
in
well.
Canada too.
Yeah,
They had one in Canada, some random ones too, like
yeah,
AGN or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
and then and then Champs was in March, which was actually I kind of liked that. Champs being in March, and then they still had the league playoffs during the year, and there were 3 different playoffs during the year, as well as
Yeah, it's
X.
3 like stages, right? Mad.
Yeah, X. That was the last year of
A
X
lot of
Games.
COD that
And
year.
so I just think for
X
me,
Games too, yeah.
yeah, that was the year. And I remember the first map I watched of AW was, well, the first moment I watched of AW was round 11 of MLG Columbus phase versus optic, like of the end of the first series, because it was a 2 best of 5s and it was the end of the first best of 5. And I don't know, that's just for me, that's peak COD.